breaking the taboo. We're going to talk about encouraging open conversations in the workplace. So we know that big taboo, menopause, the last great taboo, is going to happen to all females. It's going to happen to all women at some point. We can't say how long, we can't say how severe, we can't say how debilitating. But what has happened is that women have gone it alone. We don't talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to know about it. All we want to do is get out the other side. So many women struggle through this phase on their own. And it can have huge impacts on professional lives, on personal lives, on relationships, both professional relationships and personal relationships. So what we need to start doing is encouraging an open conversation about what's happening to us. So the first thing that we need is more understanding of menopause itself. I've just said most people, or most women, well, most people, only talk about when they've come out the other side. So the shit show bit, when those hormones pack up, do one. That's the perimenopause bit. That's when the hot flashes start, the memory fog, all of that sort of thing. That's the perimenopause bit. Out the other side is when those hormones pack their little suitcases and they've gone vamoosh. They're out. And that still has implications on how you as a woman operate. So post-menopause, when those hormones have disappeared off, you can still feel tired, you can still feel fatigued, you have bone density issues, you can still have memory issues. Just because you've gone through perimenopause when those hormones are all over the place and causing you to be all over the place doesn't mean to say you're not going to get symptoms for years afterwards. So there's one thing we need to talk about. The big taboo about menopause itself. There's an awful lot of cultural beliefs. So women, well, humans actually, are only on this planet to make more little humans. Like most species on the planet, like most living organisms on the planet, all we're here for is to make more of us. So when we as women hit menopause, we're no longer capable of doing that. We don't talk about what effect that has on us, both physically and mentally, and particularly here in the Western world, societal issues. So we've come to this spot in our lives when we are meant to be taking our foot off, we're meant to be cruising, we're meant to be, that doesn't happen in today's modern society. We have more women in higher ranking professional positions. Not enough, admitted, nowhere near enough, but a lot of that is because of the societal norms that are associated with the menopause. So it's normally women that do the nurturing. They care for the kids, then they care for the grandkids, then they care for their parents or elderly relatives. It's women that normally do that. Women are perceived because of this that they are weak, that they're unreliable, that they're not capable of handling jobs under a huge amount of pressure. Have you ever tried getting your kids out on time for school in the morning? You're talking a logistical nightmare, and if you're talking pressure, bring up a teenager. Employers are missing a trick here because women naturally support, women naturally nurture. That is their job. So we need to talk about this. Yes, we might be affected by the hot flashes. We might be affected by fatigue. We might be affected by insomnia, and we probably can't remember where we put the keys or where we put the speech that we're meant to be doing and we've spent the last 2 weeks preparing. Those sort of things happen. Allowances can be made for that within the workplace. The importance is to have open conversations about it. All women are going to go through it. That's 51% of the population. I was watching a TV program the other day that made me giggle a little bit. It said that more research had been put into Viagra than it had into HRT treatments. Because who's Viagra for? Oh yeah, not women. So awareness needs to be raised. We need to be, ladies, a little bit more comfortable about talking about that hot flash, that brain fog. The fact that we didn't sleep very well, well, actually, that's probably all of us, because if we've had kids, then we've had many a sleepless night. We need to normalise the conversation. There are some of those symptoms that maybe you don't want to talk about straight away. But when you're in a group of people who are going through similar, then you can. You can start talking about those things that aren't the norm, maybe. So we need to educate. So educate our bosses, educate the workforce, educate those that are employing us. We need policy changes so that the policies allow women to work and flourish through this time. And we need resource groups within the employee sphere. Resource groups that can support, networks that can support and offer advice, encouragement, and advocate for when things do go pear-shaped. Because this is something we haven't mentioned yet, there is quite a bit of litigation about women who have been unfairly dismissed because of the fact that they are a woman. We've seen quite a lot of it with pregnancy and childbearing. Same goes with menopause, and we need to shout about it a little bit more. But we also need to remember that if we are nurtured correctly, if we are supported correctly, if we are allowed to flourish, women have so much to offer the workforce, so much. So let's talk about it. Let's break those taboos surrounding the menopause and what you can do within the workforce, how you can work within the workforce. Come and talk. My name's Tracy Montgomery. I talk about all things menopause, midlife, and all that goes with it. I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.